You guys are hilarious. I'm away for a few seconds. Oh, where's Mike? Oh, my goodness. Where am I? Hey, everybody. Hello, everybody. This is, who am I? I'm Mike Meyers, and I am welcoming you to the Wednesday edition of the Mike Meyers live stream COVID, whatever the heck I always say every Monday and Wednesday, and I'm not really remembering what I say normally. Okay, but anyway, welcome aboard, guys. The goal of this live stream is for those of us who are isolated by the coronavirus, an opportunity to continue our studies for primarily CompTIA certifications. Now, so that's going to be IT fundamentals, that's going to be A+, Net Plus, Security Plus, but we can certainly move outside of that on an as-needed basis, not only for other CompTIA certifications, but other certifications as well. This is also an opportunity to talk about technical topics, which is one of the things we're going to be talking about today, hypersegmentation, which I discovered after somebody asking me that question was not on any CompTIA test that I'm aware of. No big deal. It's actually a cool part of software-defined networking, so why not talk about that as well? Now, just because we have a topic for today, keep in mind this is a 2-hour session. So it starts at 2 o'clock Central Standard Time here in Houston, Texas, and runs on until either 4 o'clock my time, that's 2 hours, or when the questions run out. So either way, it's going to work out just fine. So you ask questions here by typing them into the chat window. Is it over here? Or maybe for you it's over here. I don't know. And you just type it into the chat. I'm running on live chat, by the way. I'm sorry. I'm looking at what people are writing in there. Jane Slayer, you're a funny, funny person. Sorry, I'm not going to be distracted by you. So go ahead and just ask any types of questions you want. Now keep in mind, some people are a little bit shy about questions. If you're a little shy, that's fine. If you're one of those types, just go ahead and send me an email. My email address is michaelm@totalsem.com. And just send me any questions you want. Maybe you're shy, maybe you think the question's a little complicated, whatever, it's all good. You are welcome to send them that way. Also, if you're a gamer, I'm Senor Pepe, and in general, if you want to know anything about me, type in DesWeds, and you'll probably find out something interesting. Well, not that interesting, or I wouldn't have put it on there, right? Okay. So what do we got going today? Hypersegmentation. I promised 4 giveaways today, which we will do. We got 4 giveaways today, kids, so let's see what happens. And I do have one email that I wanted to address while we're here. Where'd it go? Where did it go? All right, so this is a question from a person who I am going to say is on the live stream right now. But they sent it to an email, so I don't name any names. Okay, hey Mike, for the A+ Core 1 exam, do I need to remember how many pins for each DDR RAM type? Yes. I mean, it's not that hard. I mean, the last 2 types have had 240 pins. So yeah, you need to memorize those. DDR, DDR2, DDR3, DDR4. That'll cover it, at least in terms of pin count. Same question for PCI. I don't think there's anything on PCI that's going to ask number of pins. But you should definitely talk about things like, you know, what's a 16 lane, what did you say? You said straight. There's no PCI at all on the CompTIA A+. There's PCIe, but the old PCI bus is no longer a objective on the exam. So for PCIe, do you have to know the number of pins? No. I don't know the number of pins. But you ought to know things like what's a, you know, PCIe by 1 versus a by 4 versus a by 16. That might be a good idea. What else do I have? 4 questions. Boy, I know I've got more questions. I'm just trying to remember. Alan Dugan, man. I swear, Alan, your only job is to come online, let me know I've got good sound. I appreciate it. I truly do. Andre, it was 2:01 and I wasn't there, and Andre's like, oh my gosh. Josh Dope, the great Mike Stromey. God, I can't believe. So Mike Stromey, or the great Mike Stromey, I think was the first phrase I used. That came from, on the A+ exams, there's this huge stack of scenario questions, which is good. And the problem is a lot of them described symptoms for different things being busted. And that's where the whole Mike Strami thing came from, was a way for me to be able to go through typical symptoms so that you could do diagnosis. Everybody likes it. I'm glad. I'm very glad. Okay. David Rush, you sound like the senior soloist in the Mormon Tabernacle. Elbow sound is in. Mic check. Okay. Okay, so a couple of things for today. First of all, do be aware that just because you are nice enough to show up today, we have 50% off all of our practice tests. So when you're studying for any certification, the three things I think everybody needs are videos, books, and practice questions. And in fact, the most important thing you need to study for any certification is practice questions. And yes, Total Seminars sells practice questions as well as other people, but mine are the best and about the cheapest. So not only do we have these great practice questions for you to do practice questions on, but more importantly, we have them for 50% off. So now do keep in mind, we sell the practice questions as one thing, and then we sell the performance-based questions as a separate item. It's just a substantial challenge programming-wise to get all these guys to work together. So the bottom line is that you can get these as bundles. So the AMA special deals for this week are 50% off the CompTIA Total Test Practice Exams and the Total Tester Bundle. So a bundle is when you buy the practice questions and the performance-based questions in one glob. Okay, and to do this, all you have to do is go over to www.totalsem.com, head over to the merchant area, fill your cart full of fat loot, and then when you check out, type in the code IWD2021 at checkout, and you get all of this at 50% off. These are ridiculously low prices. Our prices are insane. So anyway, do take advantage of that. Also, do keep in mind that we do this every Monday and Wednesday at 2 o'clock. On Fridays at 2 o'clock, same bat time, same bat channel. My buddy Dave Rush is here with the Dave Rush Ask Mike Anything, D-R-A-M-A, drama. And boy, that name's Dave right there because he is a drama fanatic. I'm teasing. But Dave also does, on Fridays, does Raspberry Pi based stuff. Now, wait a minute, you're going to sit there going, well, Mike, I don't care about Raspberry Pi. I'm studying for Net Plus. Well, you know, the cool part is, and where Dave for years has been a big a fan of this, is using Raspberry Pi as a very, very inexpensive tool to do stuff that would normally take a bigger computer. So setting up DNS servers and all kinds of fun stuff like that. So definitely check out Dave Rush on Fridays. He's a lot of fun. Good guy. Let's see what we got going here. All right. I'm just looking for questions, guys. I'm scrolling through the live chat looking for questions. Greetings, Starfighter. Ooh. Oh, what was that movie? The Last Starfighter. How could I ever forget that one? Mike Myers, Calamity COVID live stream. Ask me anything. ITU. I like it. I like it. Rodney Amy Jr. Good afternoon from California. Good afternoon, Rodney. Glad to see you on board, man. John F. Kennedy. Great. I've caught a live stream for once. Well, John and Rodney, ask me some questions. That's what we're here for. Okay. Tollet, oh God, Tollet, I'm ignoring you for the entire day. I'm just going to like soft ban you or something. Just for being that obnoxious with bad jokes. All right, so here we go, 2:04 p.m. Keith Merritt. Hi, Mike. I passed A+ and Net Plus using your training material. Excellent. And on my first help desk job, double excellent. I want to do Security Plus next. Will you be releasing a new course for the Security Plus exam soon? Yes. Look, I got to tell you guys, Keith, COVID really jacked us around. The new Security Plus book, which Scott Jernigan, who's online with me right here, is my co-author. That's pretty much in the can. Well, it's not pretty much. It's in the can. It's in the can. It's in the hole. So that means, we just got 6 weeks. I forget how long it takes McGraw-Hill once it has everything to actually turn it into a book. And I was actually, and still intend, to not be doing the next Security Plus video. My buddy Dan is coming in from Canada to do it. Dan's a great guy. He's as fun as I am and almost as good looking. So that got a little burp because of the COVID. But now I don't know how it is in your country, but here in Texas, or actually here in Southeast Texas is about the only thing I care about. We've been having a big drop. So I'm fingers crossed that we're getting to the point where this is going to be finished up. So we'll see. Bottom line is, I don't know. Soon, I hope. The nice part for us is that from the moment we start shooting a video to the time that it's actually handed for presentation can actually be a very, very short time. Month. It just depends on how the production teams are working. That is great, Keith Merritt. You got past A+, you passed Net+, and you got your first help desk job. So, question, Keith Merritt, this is a question for you, man. Were you straight up asked to have A+ and or Network Plus certification to help you get in the door for this help desk job? So, let me know. I'm actually very, very curious about that. Patricia Grace. Hey, here's Patricia. Wind. Now there's the name, 2:05 p.m. Wind. I am called the Great Wind. How's your day going? It's actually windy here today in Houston, Texas. 2:06 p.m. Kenny Israel. Hey, Mike, what kind of printer questions will be on the A+ exam? Man, Kenny, I got to tell you, one of the tighter chapters in my A+ book is the printing stuff. And, for some reason, a lot of people are like, oh, printers, I don't want to deal with printers. Printers are critical. They're a huge part of any office. And so, understanding how the different types of printer technologies work. Make sure you're comfortable with laser printer. Make sure you're comfortable with inkjet printer. Make sure you're comfortable with impact printers, dot matrix, or whatever you want to call it. I was actually at a jewelry store a few weeks ago. Here come the yawns. Sorry about that. I was at a jewelry store a couple weeks ago. They got double dot matrix printers. In fact, probably some of the most expensive printers you can buy today, right now, are dot matrix. The reason people use dot matrix is, you don't see them at home. Very few people have them at home. But you see them in offices, mainly because dot matrix printers, all impact printers, are really good at multi-part forms. So if you got to have a copy of something, dot matrix is still the way to go. But that's probably an A+ question or close to it right there. So, Kenny, that'll get you started. But read my book. Watch my videos. I do a very good, tight job on printers. And that's what you need to know, mine. Ah, yes, David Rush reminds me. Dave Rush reminds me that, folks, please like and subscribe. This is not a money-making product for Total Seminars. We do this because I'm genuinely worried about people not having access to training during COVID. And in fact, I think it's worse now than it was 8 months ago. And so I'm not asking for a like and subscribe because it's making me money. It helps with some of the ads that get generated, a few things like that, but it's not, it makes me look better out there and I show up on more searches. So please like and subscribe. Do both. Tolowitz jokes are the best. They're terrible. So Dave Rush this Friday using Chromium in kiosk mode. There you go. I like that. Ali Quidramul. Hey, Mike. Hey, Ali. Dan LaChance. That's right. Dan LaChance, my favorite Canadian. He's got all the things I can't stand about people. He's skinny. He's got a full head of hair. And here's the worst part. He's just a few years younger than me. Tolowit, I'm ignoring you. Tolowit, I am just ignoring you. So don't even bother. Oh, I forgot a cup of coffee. Yeah, I'm gonna be okay. Dun-dun-dun. Junior Junior I passed my A+ cert thanks to your book. Congratulations to you. Total Sims and video, of course, your live chats. My next move is Security Plus before 501 expires. That would be an excellent idea. I got to tell you, just between you, me, and the wall, I think the 601 exam was much harder than the 501. And if you're studying for Security Plus, and if you can sneak in the 501 between now and July, I'd really do that, because I feel the test is a solid 25-30% harder than it was before, straight up. No surprises on the security. I mean, there's nothing there that shocked me, but you got to definitely watch out. Always take the old exam, right, kids? There we go. Dun-dun-dun. Andre, oh, you guys had the infections go up. You can't, Andre, the only thing I'm going to tell you there is when it comes to COVID, stick to the weekly averages, because otherwise it's like in the stock market, watching a stock every day just gives you a stomachache. Smarticus 71's here. That's good. Now we can start drinking. Here's from Keith Merritt. Thank you, Keith, for responding. The job specified A+ only, but I felt Net Plus would give me the upper hand, and sure enough, it did. So, Keith, I'm going to ask you one more question. In the interview, did they quiz you about the Network Plus? Did they either ask about you taking the exam during the interview, or did they quiz you technically on the Network Plus? Please let me know. I'm always curious about this stuff. Zach Moore, I have my Net Plus book for Saturday, Mike. All right, Zach, do it, man. You're going to be fine. Zach, what's the #1 reason people fail CompTIA exams? Test anxiety. That's the #1 reason. Of course, Zach, I know you're using the amazing Mike Meyers Network Plus practice exams, which actually not only, copy the look and feel of the actual exams too. So it's going to be nice and mellow. Da-da-da. Banana. I like that. 2:16 p.m. And can I use normal RAM in an iMac? An iMac? I'm not a Mac person. Have iMacs come back? Scott Jernigan, help me out. Oh, okay. Sorry. Yes, the iMacs never left. Okay, hang on. I don't put memory into these machines very often. I can tell you for a fact that iMacs use regular old RAM. There's nothing special about the RAM they use. I have been under the impression that Apple's done a pretty good job of making iMacs not upgradable. You're going to have to double check me on that too. We use iMacs a lot at Total Seminars. Those are our post-production machines. And so I've had to help buy a few of them. And it seems to me you have to buy them with a certain amount of RAM in them. And there's not an upgrade path. There may have been one in the past, but I'm not aware of one now. So there's your answer. Scott Jernigan texts, iMac is huge. They are big. They're the 27 inches are about like that big. So yeah, they are huge. They're huge. Okay. So guys, we need to get some questions coming in, all right? So this is your big opportunity. We're only 20 minutes in. Dun, dun, dun. And Scott Jernigan confirms no upgrade on RAM. So yes, the iMacs use regular RAM, but no, you can't upgrade it, not easily that I'm aware of. I would be tempted to run over to Ifixit and see what they say about that. I'm actually kind of curious. I'm running over to ifixit.com and see what they're saying. Huh. when. Okay, so according to, let me show this to you guys so you can see what I'm looking at. According to our dear friends over at Ifixit, you can replace this stuff. I just pulled up a quick date. Oh wait, this is an older one. Okay, so on Ifixit, here, let me just show you what I'm looking at so you guys aren't going, what's Mike looking at? So this is good old Ifixit. So you can see I'm here on Ifixit. And I did just a quick search on iMacs and to see if RAM's replaceable. This is an older version, so I can't tell quickly if you can put more RAM in an iMac. We ran into this a few times. Okay, next question. 2:17 p.m. Rolling dog. Rolling dog. Hey, Mike, this is my response. I changed from CS to... Okay. Oh, goodness. So, Rolling dog. I remember us kind of talking about on Monday, but I have slept since then. If there's a question here, I've forgotten what's up, so I apologize. Here, Roland Dog, if you want to, send me an email directly at michaelm@totalsem.com and remind me what the issue was. The challenge we run into here is that if we get something that's kind of complicated and I'll read something that I get confused and I ask you to respond, and then after a while I get lost. I just get lost. So you might want to consider, I think I may have done that a little too quick, michaelm@totalsem.com. Send that to me and we will talk about whatever your particular issue is. If you want to try to do it right here, it's always fine. But I apologize. Roland Dog, I forgot what we were talking about for this is my response. I don't remember. Lots of questions just started popping. Okay. Quit farting around. 2:17 p.m. Smarticus 71. I'm about to start section 16 of Mike's Network Plus series, virtualized calculating. Going for my next one. Great. Thank you, Smarticus. It's fun. I got to tell you, Network Plus is the most fun course, I think, to learn and the most fun one to teach because it really creates a lot of eureka moments for people who are like, I never really understood DHCP, stuff like that. Ulysses Farrar, what's up, cool cats? Nothing, baby. Jane Slayer, Mike, any opinion on the Microsoft Exchange hack? I just read about that this morning and realized it was an old hack. It looks like it's patched. We use Exchange at Total Seminars, and I've been receiving a disproportionately large amount of phishing emails, and which may have been associated with that particular attack. I got to tell you, I like Microsoft Exchange. I've always liked Microsoft Exchange. In fact, some of the older versions of Exchange had workflow functions and things that you could use the Outlook client and you could literally do some pretty good workflow stuff. That may be there, may not, I don't know. But when Microsoft started to push, instead of having your own local Exchange server, moving it up to the cloud, I mean, that just seems like a no-brainer, right? I mean, how convenient is that to plop your Exchange server up in the cloud? And, your usual arguments against something like that, well, your Exchange server, it's, well, what if the internet goes down? Well, if the internet goes down, these days, if the internet goes down, we're all hunting deer in Texarkana, so it doesn't really matter. But I've had connectivity issues to the Exchange server, which I can't even say I can blame on Microsoft. But I've been unhappy with keeping the Exchange server on the cloud in terms of lag from the server itself, that type of thing. But it's awfully nice to have 100% uptime. If the server goes down, I'm not the one at 3 in the morning jumping in a car, to go try to figure out whatever the heck's wrong with this server. As long as you're patched, you're okay. There we go. So I'm sorry, Smarticus. Sorry, Ulysses. Who was it? Jane. Sorry, it took me a while to get to that. There we go. I would like a job. This is Roland Dog again. I would like a job as IT manager, okay, or something around these lines. I do not want to feel like I wasted my time in college. First of all, you will not have wasted your time in college. What people forget about is that many, many jobs require a college degree. And that is also in the world of IT. Now, we are blessed in the world of IT in that there's still a lot of jobs, a big percentage of jobs out there that you don't need a college degree for. And with enough experience, the whole I got a degree, I don't got a degree thing fades away. Not a whole lot of industries can still make that boast, but IT can. So you're not going to be wasting your college time. That sheepskin alone is going to open doors that for those of us who do not have college degrees would stay closed to them. So that's good. Also, keep in mind that any type of CIS degree, even though it's going to be a lot of code, or if you're just doing IT, something like that. Roland Dog, it's been so long since I've been to a bachelor's program, I've not seen a non-programming CIS degree. Maybe some business database stuff, things like that, but even that was programming. So, Roland Dog, I would like to see what your course is. I'd like to see what the course is, what it looks like, what the degree says. Where are you getting this? That'd be pretty cool to see. But the bottom line is you will not waste your time with a college degree. You're also taking English courses. You're also taking mathematics courses. You're taking history. There's university, universal degree. You are at university, you're meeting people and you're having to talk to them and to sway, and you make opinions, and you fight for ridiculous platforms that all young people have since time immemorial fought for. And so it's never, never a waste of time. It's easier for me to get a mediocre tech with an English degree. It's easier for me to get them a job than a crackerjack tech without a degree, which is sad, but people are degree conscious. So never, ever, ever think like you're wasting your time. But I'll make one quick corollary here, Roland Dog. You go to a university not just to get a job, but to expand your knowledge and to experience, and taking summers off and going backpacking in the Alps, or whatever the heck that is. So yeah, do all this. It'll be worth it. The only people I tell who should not get college degrees are people who they just don't have the time window to do it. They can't afford it. I'm not big on people borrowing, here in the States, borrowing money for school is an onerous thing, to say the least. But yeah, degrees are good. Looking for questions. Mr. Blue Deck. 2:19 p.m. I'm only 10 minutes behind. That's crazy. Taking my A+ course 1 a week on Friday. Good. Doing your tests. Have learned a lot in revising. Well, that's how you do it. And welcome aboard. So, Mr. Blue Deck, let's see some questions, man. Because if you don't give me any questions, Mr. Blue Deck, that means you're ready to take the test now, because you got everything figured out. I know. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Hold on. Somebody says there's a lot of noise coming in, and that noise is coming from my air conditioner. So and that's somebody on some Japanese motorcycle out there making noise. All right, there, Scott, I just turned up the temperature in here so the AC won't kick over. Da-da-da. So a couple of things, guys. Do keep in mind, if you've written something in the chat and there's an @ sign and it ain't for me, I instantly skip it, okay? Usually the best way to get a hold of me is do @Total Seminars channel, because that's me, and then I'll watch it. But as you can see, I'm reading everything nice and slowly and carefully. Richard Bro, hi Mike, I got the 601 book. Since you say it's a harder exam, does having that book instead of 501 make it much of a difference? Yeah, I'm sorry, Richard. I know I get in trouble when I start doing this. And this happens every time a test switches over. Because people are like, which test do I take? Number one, of course, you always take the older exam, always. But now here's poor here's poor Richard, who's just heard Mike Myers go, oh, the new test is a lot harder. And here's poor Richard, who has actually bought the 601 book. Is it harder? It is harder. I'm not going to lie. It's harder. I think the exam's more interesting. I think it's interesting, just in terms of the topic stuff. But it's very different. I don't think that the 601 book would help you pass the 501 exam. That big of a difference. You lay them up, I toss them down. Ben Nana, well, Apple says it uses ECC. What's wrong with ECC? Oh, Mr. Nana is saying that's not, because it's ECC, it's not regular RAM. I'm guessing that's what you mean by that. So, that is so sad. I'm looking at the people who are trying to upgrade more recent ones, and they just can't do it. That's sad. Yeah. The one thing I will say about Apple right now is I got to get my hands on one of these M1 processors. I've just been dying to play with one. I haven't had a chance to use it yet. Ben Nana, and Apple gives it up. Ben, you were testing me. Wait a minute. So Ben Nana, you're like, hey, Mike, can we do blah, blah, blah? And then I said, no, we can't. And now you're sitting and saying, well, yeah, we can. So I'll tell you what, Ben Nana, give us a link to show us how I can upgrade a late generation iMac. Because according to me, Scott, and Dave, here I'm even throwing in some help. Well, Dave didn't say anything. Me and Scott, you can't. So Ben Nana, I hear what you're writing and I respect your observations, sir. That is not my experience. So I'm going to have to throw the ball back to your court and show me a recent system that is upgradable. I'm never offended. I'm wrong every day, folks. Every day I make a mistake. And I learn every day. So Ben, this is not stump the mic, because if you want to stump Mike Myers, that takes about 3 tries. I'm easy to stump, but I would rather we not argue. So if you already found a source that said we can do it, maybe you were just searching after you asked the question. I don't know. It's all good. We'll get there. Scott Jernigan or Dave Rush, will either of you please confirm rock solid that late generation iMacs, let's go with the 27-inch screens, are no longer can be upgraded or RAM changed out or anything? Let's get Ben squared away on this. Khalid, hey Khalid, is the test kit is for both Core 1 and, yes it is, Core 1 and Core 2. Nick Varquish, 2:20 p.m. Hi Mike, big fan. First call in, long-term listener. Currently working through your Network Plus task. Excellent. Can you tell me how distributed denial of service attacks work? I sure can. But first what we're going to do, and we are going to do this in Nick Vargish, we are going to have a competition. Guys, you get ready. We're about to have a competition. I should have had my practice questions up so I had something for us to try together. I am not going to do, let's do a Network Plus just for Ben. So what we're about to do is we're going to have a competition. This is the first of 4 competitions we're going to have today. Whoever answers the question correctly first wins free access to either A+, Net Plus, or Security Plus practice questions. Not a bad deal. So the Total Tester is a completely online product. Now, number 1, this is not a fair competition. It's not fair, okay? The live chat is different for everybody, so if you think you're first, that may not be what I see, okay? So that's the first thing. Number two, sometimes I have to play, what's the word I'm looking for? Tiebreaker. If I'm tiebreaker, I may use arbitrary things like day of the week to make choices. The nice part is, folks, is that we barely have 60 people in here, so odds are good. Okay, the other thing I'm going to throw in here is I know a lot of you guys like to compete, and then you're very generous, and then you give away the practice and say give it to the next person. Unfortunately, that eats up an outrageous amount of time. So whoever wins, you win, okay? So there ain't no paying it, there ain't no passing it around. And I apologize, it becomes onerous, and we spend a lot of time trying to fix that. So you old geezers who win a lot, you can't play and then give it away. Sorry. So you can play, but I would recommend you put a little stutter step in there. So let's do a practice thing. No. We're going to do Network Plus. Network Plus, Network Plus, Network Plus, Network Plus, Network Plus. I'm looking for Network Plus. Why is it so buried deep inside all this? Whew, okay, I found it. All right, kids, here we go. All right, so number one, I'm going to show you a multiple choice question. It's going to say like A, B, C, and D. You can't just write the letter of the alphabet, okay? Ooh, hold on. So I'm going through my practice test bank trying to find good questions. Okay, I think we stumbled into a great one for starters, so let's go with this. You guys ready? Here we go. 2:20 is where we left off, 2:20 p.m. So I know where to get back to the questions. All right, here we go. You guys ready? Oopsie, let's make that a little more visible. So, which can be used to improve performance when executing high bandwidth processes over, here's the big one, multipath WAN connections? Is it load balancing, half duplexing, static IP addressing, or PoE devices? All right, folks, so the first person who writes out the answer that most makes sense to me, we do not, there's no spelling or grammar here, wins. So let's see who wins. I'm leaving this up here for a little bit longer so everybody can see it. All right, I'm pretty sure the answer is going to be A, load balancing. Let me double check in the exam and check your answer. The answer is correct. Yay. Let me show you guys one of the things I like. This is our actual practice bank. And one of the things I love about this is we have this little pop-up that comes on the side. If you need a hint, where is it in the books or videos, checking your answer, and then explaining the answer itself, which I find very, very convenient. Okay, but I haven't even looked in live chat yet. Let's see. What was it? Load balancing? Load balancing, load balancing, load balancing. IPv6. Andre, you're hilarious. Jimmy Milligan. All right. Jimmy Milligan, you are the winner of, I don't know if it's 90 or 180 days access to the exam. So Jimmy Milligan, first of all, congratulations to you for winning. Number two, in order to claim your prize, you need to send an email to Kathy Y, that's Kathy with a K, KATHYY @totalsem.com. Just send her an email. First of all, tell her what your screen name is in YouTube. So make sure she knows that your screen name is Jimmy Milligan. It's got to be there. Number two, tell her which one you want. You want A+? Great. You want Net+? Great. You want Security+? Great. Pick one. That's all you get. All right? And then Kathy will send you an email back. Jimmy Milligan, don't panic. Scott Jernigan's going to put all this in the chat window, what the email address is and all that. And yes, Kathy's been complaining. A few of you guys are pretending to be other people and trying to claim a prize. Don't worry. Kathy can intercept that stuff so quickly it's not even funny, and then it makes you look kind of dumb. So, all right. All right, so that's our first winner. Well done, well done. Let's get back. We got some more questions. My goodness, I feel like I'm... And hey, Ben and Anna, this whole RAM thing with the iMac, these are great questions. So Ben, thank you for these excellent questions. It's fun for all of us to get the answers to this stuff. And I can see you're talking with Dave Rush and a few other guys, and this is good stuff. This is how we learn. I like it. Rodney Amy, 2:20 p.m. Good afternoon. My question, would you need an ISO for Mac OS for VirtualBox? Yes, you would. And B, good luck finding one. There are some illegal ones out there. I've never been able to get them to work, mainly because they use like really ancient versions of Mac operating systems. And it's OS 10, but it's like earlier versions of OS 10. So I have not been able to get it to work. So Keith Merritt says, bottom line, the CompTIA certifications got me the job. No doubt about it. Cool, Keith. It's just, Keith, I just pick up little bits of information like that. It's always helpful. Jane Slayer, Louis Rossman. Louis Rossman, he's all right. Let me just say that me and Louis Rossman probably share some political commonality. I'll just leave it at that. I do not want to get into politics. But he's a New Yorker, man, and Louis can get pretty crabby about things. It is great tech, but I got to tell you, guys like Louis are so rare anymore. I mean, the guy, hand rebuilding motherboards with a soldering iron and an oscilloscope. I mean, who does that anymore? But it's very cool to watch him do it. And yeah, he's also he hates Apple a lot. And I believe he doesn't even have, I don't think he'll touch Macs anymore, I'm pretty sure. Linus Tech Tips, yes, I have seen Louis Rossman on Linus Tech Tips as well. Great resource. He's making a Mac repair wiki. Jane Slayer, I'm going to have to check that out. Thank you for the insight. 2:21 p.m. Frank, hey Mike, I've run into practice questions that refer to DMZ as a screen subnet. Oh God. Can you explain why? Yeah, I can explain why. It's because we live in this bizarre, politically correct universe now where even saying things like militarized in a word might, need somebody to go, ree. So don't even get me started. Scott Jernigan's going to start typing in, shut up, shut up. That's why. I'm done. Moving on. Smells political. Yes, Frank, it's political. That's not even political. What is it? I don't know. It's the 2020s McCarthyism, Are you or have you ever been a member of anything other than, social justice warrior? Well, once I fired a rifle. Oh, cancel culture. You're over, buddy. Get out of here. Scott still has it. I'm waiting for Scott Jernigan to type something in. Shut up. Okay, we're moving on. I'm moving on. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Zach, Mike, do you have a fan going or so? Oh, yes, Zach, I had a fan. It was just the AC. I got it turned off. Chris, yeah, I know. It is March in Texas. Time to turn the air conditioner back on. It's only, what's the temperature today, Scott? It's 70-something? 75 degrees here in Houston, Texas. Early March. Feels great. Yeah, I've already put all my coats away. All my coats. I got a couple of gimme jackets from a couple of marathons. Yeah, it's about all I wear anymore. And that's the last time I've wore socks. That's the last time I will be wearing socks until next end of October. Chris Shea, 224. Hey, Mike. Thanks to you, I passed my A+ now on the Networks and Secure Plus. Well done, Chris Shea. Well done. Andre, Mike, could it be that your system's cooling? Oh, okay. Sorry, sound's gone. We're moving on. Okay. Smarticus said, so far I've noticed that the Net Plus builds on some basic knowledge from the A+. I'm glad I took the A+ course. Yeah. In fact, I will tell you from experience that CompTIA, over time, takes Network Plus questions, objectives, and moves them into A+. And it takes Security Plus objectives and moves it into Network Plus. So, yeah, you're absolutely right. You did see that. Ali Al-Ramul. Mike, how do you keep track of chipsets and CPU models? I'm sure you can't remember them all, but I've noticed there's distinct between each. No, there's not. In fact, it's impossible to remember them all. What you need to do is take a look at the A+ objectives, and those are the only ones you need to worry about. I can't sit here and name every Intel socket. Okay, I probably could get the vast majority of them. Same with AMD. But this is where good training materials save you. So instead of trying to memorize a bunch of this stuff, you can go over to CompTIA.org, pull down the objectives, and look and say, because CompTIA does a good job now, they go, these are the CPU packages that we want you to have memorized, that kind of a thing. So if they're not listed, don't do it. 'Cause I gotta tell you, man, they don't have that many. Maybe there's 6 different socket types on the A+. That's it. Maybe less than that. So that's how I keep track. I don't keep track. So let's have another conversation. Mike, but I want to buy computers and I want to be on top of it and I want to do repairs. I'm constantly refreshing myself. I got to tell you, I live on Wikipedia for socket types and things like that because I forget them. In particular, what I forget is when you get multiple generations of the same socket, where you really do run into a little bit of issues, of like first versus second versus third generation i7s, which has always been a real pain in the rear end. And I don't memorize them. If I need to know what I need to memorize for the exams, either I will look at the objectives from CompTIA myself, or I will buy great Mike Meyers training materials, because if I don't talk about it, it ain't on the exam. And so that's how you know. Smarticus 71, what would you like to see on a resume cover letter from a recently A+ certified individual? I will work for free. I'm kidding, Smarticus. There's not any one thing I want to see. So first of all, Smarticus, about 4 or 5 months ago, we had Elaine Batzer on and a few other folks, and we were doing like a rate my resume kind of a thing, and it's 2 great videos. You can just go to the Total Seminars channel page in YouTube and do a search in there. Just do search for resume, and it'll pop up. And those would be the things to look for. But what I am looking for is dedication, motivation. I'm looking for passion. I'm looking for knowledge. I'm not going to lie. I mean, unless it's a really entry-level job, I want to hire people who know what they're talking about. But those are the things to look for. But you're asking a big topic. Please watch those videos. There's only 2 of them, and plus you can fast forward and take a look and see if those can't be very helpful. We did a lot of resumes, and I think it was very good. Zach Morrill, I don't know who the university college degree was, but you don't need one to get a job. Zach, that's exactly what I said. You don't need a college degree to get a job. I'm telling you, it's easier for people with university bachelor's degrees to get jobs than people who don't have them. That I will guarantee is a truism. Now, does that mean people like you, Zach, I don't have a college degree, Zach. I'm as blue collar as the next person. And does certainly after you get, a few years of experience, that degree becomes less important. Usually if you want to go into management, that's the other place where a lot of places will look for a college degree. But no, Zach, I completely agree with you. You don't need one. I'm just telling you it's easy for people who can. Okay, so now Tolowit's talking about IPv8. All right. Is this some kind of joke? All right, so there really is IPv8. Oh, that's hilarious. I'm reading up on IPv8. I don't know anything about it. Have you looked into the stuff on IPv8? No, I have not. They have achieved unlimited numbers. We'll see. Patricia Grace, ever try to install an OS on an SD card? Sure. I mean, every time I fire up a Raspberry Pi, I've got a little SD card in there that I had to put a copy of Raspbian or whatever I'm trying to play with, so that'd be one place. Yes. Yes. Looking for questions? Okay, here we go. 2:34 p.m. Produce Boy 12. I love your all's names sometimes. I just bought your book, halfway through chapter 4. Well, thank you. My mortgage thanks you. But yeah, Produce Boy 12. First of all, welcome. Thank you for coming. This is the place for people to study together. Also, do keep in mind, while we're talking about this, don't forget to like and subscribe. But on top of that, we do have, my buddy Jose Braden has set up a Discord group. It is not run by Total Seminars. I don't run it. Scott Jernigan doesn't run it. Dave Rush doesn't run it. Other people run it. So I cannot control what's being said on this Discord channel. So assuming that, you can handle, if phrases like sticks or stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me, still mean anything to you. And if you want to hang out with a bunch of very, very smart people who are all working together to get certified, please join our Discord channel. Scott Jernigan, could I impose on you to post that up into the chat so everybody can see it? It is Produce Boy. It's a great place. And please join us. And also, if you're really cool, bring a headset along, and that way we can talk. Patricia Grace, not just using the SD card as a home folder, but as a mount point. You're installing an operating system on a SD card. It'll be automatically mounted by the grub loader, so it's already a mount point. I don't know. Patricia, tell me all about this when we get on the Discord channel after this. Oh, by the way, on the Discord channel, most of the time, everybody gets together after the talk. I'm going to try to be on today. I don't know whether I can or not. I'm very, very sorry. It's crazy, crazy times around here. 2:35 p.m., Mr. Blue Deck. My dad has a notebook with the M1. They're lightning fast. Mr. Blue Deck, I've heard nothing but great things about the M1 processor. I have not had a chance to play it. Yeah, Nada, I have to make all these rules about these giveaways because I'm going to tell you, like I'm going to surprise any of you guys by saying this, but nerds can get kind of competitive. No, I'm not. I'm serious. Now, I've had some people like, woo, get a little mad about things. So that's why I have to do all these silly caveats. Looking for more questions. Rodney at 2:38 p.m. Will the performance-based question on the CompTIA, will the performance-based questions, you're going to get at least a minimum of 2, probably about 4 to 6. Will the performance-based questions on the CompTIA Plus require me to explain some of the questions? Nope. All of the performance-based questions are basically multiple choice or drag and drop questions. And the other thing, Rodney, I'm going to tell you is that almost all of the performance-based questions on the A Plus are some of the simplest, easiest to answer on the entire exam. So don't freak out the performance-based. They're actually nice. The biggest problem people have with the performance-based questions on CompTIA exams is you first see this question, and then you've got this floating instruction box in the way. It's a real pain in the rear end. And so you have to read these performance-based questions, and I'm going to tell you because you're feeling a little pressure. So the first time you read a performance-based question and try to look at the graphics, you're like, what is going on here? And then, remember what number one reason people fail CompTIA exams? Test anxiety. So you read this question, you're like, I don't know what they're talking about. And you start freaking out. And all of a sudden you're, Mike Meyers' training materials are the worst ever, and I'm going to put all my blame on him because I'm panic-stricken and I'm not going to take a couple of minutes to actually read the question and discover that it's trivially easy question. Folks, CompTIA is the worst about giving exams where other questions answer a question you're having trouble with. And you should always, if you're having a challenge with any questions, just mark it and move on. Come back to it later. But no, Rodney, so there's no essay portion to the exam, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, Squishy and Ali, you guys can't type in the letter. You have to type it out. Oh, goodness, lots of questions. Pouring in. Oh, my buddy Alex is on. Hey, Alex. Oh, sorry, Nick. You asked about distributed denial of service. Distributed denial of service. The idea behind a distributed denial of service. Let's make sure we know what a denial of service is. Let's start with that. So a denial of service attack simply means that you have a computer running some kind of special like web browser, and it will start talking to your web server and sending, it could just send requests, although most web servers are designed to handle a lot of that. But it will do things to the requests that make the requests hard and slow for the server to respond to. It slows the server down, runs into timeouts, okay, stuff like that. So that's a denial of service attack. A distributed denial of service attack just means that you have a lot of computers that are somehow, we call them zombies, where they're all under the control of one computer. Like say here at my house, I've got control of 10,000 people's computers. And they all simultaneously start sending messed up data to the same web server. So it's the idea behind a denial of service attack is to make the server so busy that it can't answer regular folks. That's all it is. So a distributed denial of service attack just means you're using a distributed bunch of computers that are working as a team to bring down one particular system. Would it be on Network Plus? Pretty much guaranteed it'll be on Network Plus, Nick, and no more complicated than what I've already explained. Maven, Feliciano, Apple is the new Windows. No, Apple is not the new Windows. But Maven, we're all allowed to have an opinion here. Look at me being nice. 244, Samuel Demkovich. What's the best way to access to legal Windows Server licensing for homeland purposes? Does it make sense to get an action pack? Samuel, I don't know what you're trying to do here. Are you trying to learn about Windows Server? You can get a free copy of Windows Server downloaded from Microsoft. It runs 30 days or 100 days. I don't remember how long it runs, but it runs for a while. And that's how you practice and play and figure out how to do that kind of stuff. Are you trying to set up a single sign-on scenario for a home network? Well, that being the case, you might want to consider a Linux box running a Samba server. All Linux systems can emulate a older type of Windows server called a Windows NT server, I guess for lack of a better word. But it will support single sign-on. So you can have one Linux box running Samba, and you configure the Samba for that machine to spill up a Windows domain, which you can do. It's not that hard, actually. It's surprisingly easy. And then you can have everybody log into that machine, even your Windows systems. Now, Samba can't do Active Directory yet, as far as I remember, although Samba always impresses me. Hey, Scott Jernigan, can Samba do Active Directories? Can somebody check that for me? I forget. So if that's what you're trying to do, Samuel, then just get a copy of Linux. You don't need to do anything. Are you trying to actually set up a true production type Windows network in your house? Well, then you're going to have to buy it, and it's not cheap. Microsoft does have educational versions, but you have to show you have to buy it through your school's email, like your school's email address, your email address that is issued to you by your school. And you can get some very strong discounts in that type of situation. Otherwise, you're going to have to spend money. Crazy Homebody Girl, they changed a few terms on Security Plus. Weird, but okay. Yeah, it is definitely political. Sorry, guys. Let's get back to technology. Ben Nana, okay, I have to go. Ooh, I made him mad. I hope not. That's 245. Crazy Homebody Girl, 71 degrees in Washington, D.C. Okay, so Michael Smyer? Michael Smyer is on? So Michael Smyer is another one of our wonderful Total Seminars employees. And Michael Smyer says that you can get Samba to now act as an Active Directory controller. By God, that is going to be a Mike Myers AMA topic. I have never done, well, that shows you how long it's been since I've set up a Samba box. I'm not making any promises, but that looks interesting. How to set up a Samba server to do Active Directory. So very cool. Michael Smyer says we can do it. He's a pretty sharp guy. So that would be interesting. I don't know if I'd like that. I would do, like, if I just wanted to set up a single sign-on in my house or in my office, small office, or if I wanted to play with individual Windows machines, having them join a work group or a domain, then I would do a Samba server. If I wanted to actually learn about Windows Active Directory, though, from an instructional standpoint, I'd get one of these free downloadable copies of Windows, throw it in a virtual machine, and just play with it. Like we have videos on that too. We did like 3 videos. Looking for, oh, it's 3:05. You know what? Let's do another competition. All right, guys, you ready? Let's do another one. So we're going to be sticking with Network Plus. Nope. Oh, here's a good one. All right, this is a classic type of CompTIA question. All right, remember, there's 4 answers. You can't type the letter of the alphabet, folks. You have to type the actual answer itself. All right, and it's got a graphic with it too. So this is going to be fun. Where are things? Okay, here we go. You guys ready? Here's our next competition. The following graphic represents output from which of the following programs? DIG, ifconfig, NSLOOKUP, or IPconfig. So, down here at the bottom, I click on Open Exhibit. And here is the reference exhibit. Did that come from DIG, ifconfig, NSLOOKUP, or IPconfig? You don't even really have to look very hard at this to get the answer. So I'm pretty sure that's ifconfig. Check your answer. Your answer of B is correct. All right. So who typed in ifconfig first? Okay, where was I before? 251. 251. Okay. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here's the answers. Maven Feliciano. NS. Look. Nope. What was it? ifconfig. Right. Teacher Russell. Teacher Russell. Congratulations. You're the winner. Yay! Teacher Russell. In order to claim your prize, you have to send an email to Kathy Y. That's KATHYY @total7.com. Teacher Russell, make sure you put your name, make sure you put the word Teacher Russell in there, in your email. Tell Kathy which one of these you want, A+, Net+, or Security+, and you'll get that. And you have to send the email to kathyy @total7.com. Don't worry about me saying it that fast, because Scott Jernigan has already typed it in to the chat window, and congratulations to you, Teacher Russell. Woo-hoo! All right, let me get back to where we were, 251. Excellent questions, Dave. Zach, I wasn't worried, brother. It doesn't matter. We talk about the degree stuff. We good. We good. Lots of people talking to each other. 2:54 p.m. Jay's Laboratory. Just got your Network Plus book. Thank you, sir. About how long does it take the average person to complete the book and achieve the certification? Generally, it's, forget some of my numbers. They change in my head sometimes. About 140 hours or so of study time. If you're a very experienced network technician, it could be half that. If you have 0 experience, you probably want to add a little bit to it. So when people ask me, how long does it take? I'm just going to tell you in study hours. Because I don't know, are you sitting there studying 8 hours every night? Are you spending, 1 hour every other Saturday studying? So I can't tell you how many weeks or days, because I don't know how much you study. About 140 hours. And by the way, if you use any of my books, I got a thing in the front that helps you calculate the number of hours it's going to take for you to study, just to give you a ballpark. I'm trying to ignore you, Tolowit, but that one was pretty good. 2:55 p.m. DDoS is pretty old. DWindows is more modern. You're a funny guy. 2:57 p.m. Sorry, I'm chewing on Altoids today. 2:57 p.m. High Desert Gamer. Objectives for the 1001 questions. You can download the objectives for all CompTIA exams by just going to www.kathyy www.comptia.org. Select the certification you have interest in, and CompTIA, a lot of times you have to give them your name and an email address, but they will send you all the objectives, everything you want. It's all completely free, no question mark whatsoever. You don't even have to type in a real email address. Man, the first hour passed so quick. We've only got 50 minutes left and 2 more competitions. Maybe Feliciano, I have a question about the exam. When you answer a question, can you go back to change it, or is it fixed? Just to be sure. You can go back to change them. But usually they have tools like, well, here, let me show you. Here we go. So let's take a look at my practice exam. All right, so it gives you some idea. So one of the things you're always going to have is a flag question. You see that? So you can flag that question, and at the end of the exam, you can go back and check all your flagged questions. Also, you can just go to any question you want. So you can do anything you want there. My rule is when you're taking a multiple choice test, go through once, answer all the slam dunks, which hopefully is going to be, close to 50% of them. Then you go through a second, and as you're going through that first time, any question that you don't know the answer to, I'm going to go ahead and try to answer it anyway, because on any topic that I have some knowledge about, I can almost always get any multiple choice question down to 2 potential answers. So I'm already at 50-50 there. So I'm going to go ahead and mark the answer, but then I'm going to flag the question. Because once the question is flagged, that means I got to go back and check it out. Then I'll go through a second time, answer as many of those as I possibly can, which ought to be 75-80% of them. And then I'm going to go through a third time, but this time I'm not going to go through every test question. I'm just going to go to the marked questions, because on the exam you can actually go, show me all the marked questions. And on that third time, oh, and by the way, on that second pass through, you're unmarking questions as fast as you answer them. So on that third time through, then I'm going to go ahead and do the swag questions, the ones the Hail Marys, and just go for it. Where did the chat window go? Okay, here it is. Mizoha, what can the IT Fundamentals cert be used for? IT Fundamentals, that is a very interesting certification. First of all, Scott Jernigan is the author of some wonderful training materials on that. But secondly, IT Fundamentals is really a good way because it's a very inexpensive certification. It's only like, last time I checked, it was only like 30 or 40 bucks. Maybe somebody could double check me there. But it's a very, very inexpensive certification. It gets you into the idea of what you need to do to study. So it's a good practice tool to get you there. IT Fundamentals almost certainly is not going to get you a job that I'm aware of. But it provides a wonderful set of core instruction at an extremely low price to help you get an idea of where you're going to be going. Most of the IT fundamental programs I've seen are in schools and they pay for it. Man, my nose itches. Oh, there you go, Michelle. So you're taking college courses and you're doing the IT fundamentals right there. Yeah, knock it out. It's a good place to get you started. Nitrous Music Artist, ready for the test. Oh, we already did that one. Okay, we're going to do another one. Nitrous Music, don't go away, man. We got 2 more competitions between now and 4 o'clock. Got 45 more minutes. Mizoha, I'm thinking about getting both parts of Mike Meyers A+ cert. It's not mine, it's CompTIA's, and wondering how I can study for everything with a job and college. Mizoha, this is a big challenge. I mean, if you're in college and you're working, these are things where you have to be able to calculate your amount of free time. So, assuming you're a young person, my thing back when I was in my late teens, early 20s is I could skip sleeping every other day. Now, by the end of the week, I was a zombie, but I could pull all-nighters every other day. And I could go 6 days on about 24 hours of sleep total, and I was okay. But then by that Saturday, I'd sleep, 10, 12 hours before I was okay again. But the answer is, Mazoa, you may not have enough time. Again, I'm always a big fan. College degrees are an important thing. School comes first. All right. Looking for more questions. I like you guys start chatting to each other. Okay. All right. It looks like we're kind of getting towards the end of it. So, this happens a lot. So we got 2 more competitions to do. Anybody want to do more competitions? Let's do another competition. What time is it right now? I'm almost caught up. 3:15. All right. Let's do another competition. I'm enjoying these Network Plus questions. I hope you guys are too. All right, guys. This is a very simple question. It's not a hard one. So you guys need to get your fingers ready on the keyboard, and let's do this. Hey, Vista Chris walked in. Hey, Vista Chris. How you doing, man? All right. Here we go. You guys ready? Easy one. Slam dunk. Which of the following is the most reliable transport layer protocol? ARP, UDP, TCP, or FTP? Come on, folks. Let's type some in there. Remember, do not type A, B, C, or D. Type ARP, or UDP, or TCP, or FTP. It's the most reliable. Okay, we got a bunch of people typing. Sorry, Tolowit, it's not ORC, but good. All right, I'm 99% sure that's TCP. Yay, okay, cool. TCP, of course, because it's a connection-oriented protocol. We have our handshake for a TCP session to create. We also turn them off nicely, unlike FTP is not a transport layer protocol, folks. Sorry, that didn't work. ARP is not transport layer, so it's only TCP and UDP are transport layer. And remember, UDP is connectionless. It just sends it and assumes there's somebody the other side with a catcher's mitt ready to grab those packets. So the answer is TCP. So who's the winner? Who's the winner of our third competition? Free stuff for my buddy, Vista Chris. Vista Chris, you are the winner of our third competition for today. Congratulations to you, Vista Chris. And in order to receive your prize, you need to send an email to kathyy, that's Kathy with a K, kathyy at total7.com. Vista Chris, make sure you put the word Vista Chris in there. Make sure you tell her what do you want, A+, Net Plus, or Security Plus. And then third, she will send you back an email. And you actually use your email address as your login for the Total Tester. So we need that. So congratulations to you, Vista Chris. You are our third winner today. More competitions, please. I never win anything. You got to keep trying. Got to keep trying. I got Tolowit out of it today, so you got a chance. Zach and Tolowit and Andre, the Brain Trust. We're all just learning about Linux. World Bernardization. Okay, first of all, reason I'm 318, I hadn't seen your name before. Hello, welcome. You typed TCP, but a little slow. All right. But don't worry, we got one more. One more. Since questions are slowing down, I'm just going to go ahead and do the fourth competition right now. Samba Active Directory Server. That's going to be fun. I'm not saying I'm going to do that on Monday, but I might. We might. That could be interesting. Okay. I'm getting distracted thinking about that. I'm pulling up a question. Bear with me. Okay, this is an interesting question. You guys ready? This is not an easy question. So this is going to be one where the person who's going to get it right is the person who's going to sit here and read it for a minute and make sure they got it right. So let's go ahead and do that last one. You guys ready? Here we go. Remember, do not put A, B, C, or D. You actually have to type in what it is. Here we go. This process watches for incoming IP address assignment requests from unknown MAC addresses. So this is a process that watches for incoming IP address requests from unknown MAC addresses. Guys, this is actually, if you read it carefully, it's a simple question. The trick here is that you let yourself get a little confused here. All right. I am giving people some chances to. Okay, we got some winners. Now, a couple of things before I move over. I want you guys to look at this question really close. Imagine running into this question on the exam, okay? Do you know what switch port security or network segmentation is, or DHCP snooping or ARP inspection? Let's say this is a question that you don't have a clue what's going on, but you can use your knowledge as a way to kind of knock it down. Incoming IP address assignment request. It's asking for an IP address. Come on, folks. What asks for IP addresses? What protocol asks for IP addresses? It's DHCP. It's DHCP, okay? So let's just say you know nothing other than DHCP is a protocol by which individual hosts can request IP addresses using their MAC address, because that's what it is. Look at the answer. I mean, it's the answer is so easy, it's not even funny. Here's the only one, right here. It's the only one that even says DHCP. Now here's one that says ARP inspection. Maybe at first swipe you'd get down to these two. You've got to take a little time on your questions when you're taking any certification. I mean, I'm a little more in the groove on CompTIA, but on any certification, you have got to take the time to tune in to little things like that. So you see how I'm able to answer this entire question just because I knew what DHCP was. And reading through the goo, that's all I really needed to know. Easy one. All right, who's the winner? Da-da-da-da. Okay, and the winner is Maven Feliciano. Maven Feliciano, congratulations to you, sir. You are the fourth winner, the fourth and final winner for today of the competition. In order to claim your prize, you need to send an email to Kathy Y. That's Kathy with a K, K-A-T-H-Y-Y, at totalsem.com. Maven, put your name in there. You got to put Maven Feliciano so she knows who you are on the chat. And then go ahead and tell her what you want, A+, Net+, Security Plus. And she will give you a passcode and you just log in. So congratulations to you. There you go. See? Even Maven Feliciano won. If Maven can win, anybody can win at this. I'm goofing with you. Keith Merritt, good point, Mike. I rushed and got it wrong. Man, Keith, I had $1 million for every time I've done that. All right, I think that is all of the competition, guys. Do we have any more questions? Okay, I'm going to give people a minute to think about that. So number one, do remember that if you have any questions for me, oh God, I forgot about hypersegmentation. I had to work to get this. We're going to do hypersegmentation. Let's do that real quick, then I'll wrap it up. All right, you guys. So on Monday, I had a question on hypersegmentation and how that ties to, I forgot what just hypersegmentation. And I think how it tied to zero trust. And first of all, I wasn't sure what they were talking about, which is a sign right there, right? I don't know everything. I run into things all the time. But I did double check. I'm unable to find hypersegmentation as an objective on the A+, Net+, or Security+. But it is an interesting concept. And it's particularly nice because it has to do with software-defined networking, which is kind of a groovy thing. So let's go ahead and run through this quick little PowerPoint. Now, guys, especially you new folks, I need to warn you. Y'all are guinea pigs, okay? So when I get a question, I will often use you guys as a test bed to come up with a new teaching methodology for a subject or something like that. So I'm always interested in input. So let's go ahead and talk about hypersegmentation. Okay. Yes, and my PowerPoints are not pretty for you guys. Okay. Okay, so let's start off. Networks are complex things, okay? I mean, we got backbones, we got desktop systems, we've got wireless clients, we've got transient clients, people who are showing in and out with their tablets or whatever it might be. We have people on VPNs who are coming in. We got third parties, vendors, customers. We've got IoT devices. It's a problem. So what we need is segmentation. Segmentation just means to split up the network somehow. Segmentation is a very, very good thing. Separating systems as much as practically possible reduces the impact of incidents. So there's fewer systems to attack because you've got them all divided up into little segments, and that will prevent intrusions from propagating. And that is a big issue. So segmentation of our networks isn't that big of a deal. Now, the one thing you got to be careful about on everything I'm about to talk about here, guys, is that your experience with home networks can actually hurt you in your understanding of hypersegmentation. Hypersegmentation is really only done in the cloud. I mean, yes, there's ways to do it not in the cloud, but when we talk about hypersegmentation, we're usually talking about software-defined networking, which means we're talking about virtualized networks, virtualized switches, virtualized routers, and it gives us a lot more flexibility, okay? Let me show you what I mean. So traditionally, when we talk about segmentation, and folks, segmentation ain't nothing new. Remember, we were already talking about demilitarized zones for one thing. But traditionally what we talk about is what we call the walled garden, where we got the shell around our little network. So anything outside of that, we don't trust. But everything in the network, we tend to automatically trust. Every time somebody throws in another wireless access point or somebody adds a IoT camera or whatever it might be, we traditionally first trust if it's in the network. And that's not a terrible way to look at stuff because for the most part, if the network isn't that complicated, you have a small group of people who are bringing things in and they're carefully controlled, but that's not necessarily the case anymore. So traditionally, when we talk about traditional segmentation, we'll segment network by host types. Like we could make a domain for just public facing servers. We could have them for functions. For example, we could have anybody who's coming in on the wireless network could be on a separate VLAN. That might be one way to separate it. Geography, in that case, we could use things like MPLS to separate the Dallas office from the Houston office. So those are some examples of traditional segmentation. So one of the things that we tend to use for traditional segmentations are VLANs. VLANs are fantastic. I, Mike Meyers, love VLANs. They are powerful and important tools. But when you get into complicated enterprise networks, the inter VLAN routing can become extremely complicated because of the access control lists. Again, folks, I don't want you to sit here and think about your little home network, okay? It doesn't make as much sense up there. Imagine that me and Zach have got together, and we've invented this new super software, and everybody's buying it, okay? And we have to put up all these forward-facing servers, database backends. We have office machines. We've got interconnectivities that are going on. We got Exchange servers up in the cloud. Got all this stuff, and it can become extremely complicated in a very, very short amount of time. Yeah, if you're in a little coffee shop, yeah, you can whip up 2 VLANs, one for the back of the house, one for the wireless. Life's good. It's not what I'm talking about here, folks. I'm talking about software-defined networking, enterprise-level, cloud-based networking. It's a different animal. Whoops. So the other thing we can do is we can just physically segment LANs. Old school segment them using routers if we want to. Downside is that's going to make a lot of routers. Probably not a good idea. All right. So these forms of segmentation work acceptably for on-premise networks, but for virtualized / cloud networks, we can be much, much more sophisticated. And this all begins with what we call the zero trust framework. Remember earlier I said in a traditional network, anything that's inside the network we assume to trust. In a zero trust, it's exactly the opposite. First of all, zero trust, it's an idea, it's a goal, it's a framework. It's not a law of physics. It's not a checklist. It's not even a way to do it, okay? They're just talking about zero trust as a concept that I don't trust anybody ever at any time. So no devices are trusted by default. So the idea behind zero trust is that we can use all kinds of technologies, VLANs, VPNs, routers, MPLS, but software-defined networking is by far the most common way to do this because it can handle something very cool. So every time anybody comes on, we use some form of authentication. Number one, it's always going to be single sign-on. There's going to be some kind of robust identity provider. If you want to call that a Windows domain controller, fine, that works just great. You will have some form of user authentication. That's no big deal. We just assume that, right? But you're also going to have machine authentication. No IoT device, no smartphone, no printer, no server, no desktop. Everything is authenticated. Now, you will often authenticate a machine and a user at the same time, but they are 2 authentications that happen separately. One more time, folks. Zero trust doesn't care how you authenticate. You understand? That's not, it's a framework. It's an idea. It's a goal. And there's gazillions of ways to do this, okay? But with zero trust, nobody trusts anybody. But they will trust something. And then, so authentication for like mobile device management, there's all kinds of authentication and onboarding of devices. Okay. Hypersegmentation is a part of the whole concept of zero trust. And what hypersegmentation does is that it segments your network down to individual sessions. I want you to think about that for a minute. With hypersegmentation, you're not splitting up the accounting department from the sales department. I mean, you can do that. It's not going to affect anything from like a Windows administrator standpoint. You can do all that stuff. That can still be there or not be there. Who cares? But what you're doing is, well, you know what? Let me just show you. It's more fun to just show you. All right. No. All right. So first thing you got to do is you define all of the services and resources, all the hosts and devices and users for your enterprise. Okay? It's the first thing you do. Then secondly, you define what are called your tenants. A tenant is the who's and the what's that need access to what services and resources. So you can kind of think of them as groups, although they're a little bit more powerful than groups because a group can include devices as well as people, okay? So the next thing we have is what's called an authority. An authority defines authentication for the organization. So you want to think of authorities, think of it like Active Directory domains, because that is one example of hypersegmentation, although there's a lot more out there. So authorities create point-to-point connections of tenants to resources. So every connection is a separate segment, and every segment is uniquely encrypted between the 2 parties. In fact, what I didn't write in there, and I should have, is that with hypersegmentation, every connection, every session is authenticated and authorized. So yeah, a lot of times, Bobby the user logs into a Windows server. Now, Windows server is based on his NTFS permissions or his network permissions, says what resources he can access. Hypersegmentation works with the applications to make every single connection a unique point-to-point. There is no man in the middle here, folks. There is no denial of service. There is none of that stuff. It just works. And it's pretty cool. The problem is that you can't do this with a physical network, not easily. You do it with software-defined networks. This kind of stuff makes sense in the cloud. It doesn't make much sense if you're staring in front of a rack of servers in-house. Things in the cloud, things like geography makes less of an issue than it does in the physical world. And you have more controls. So that is hypersegmentation in a nutshell. And you know what, guys? I had to research this one because, to be honest with you, this is not an area I've played with. Boy, there's another thing. Scott Jernigan, we need to do some more software-defined networking. We need to be doing it at an enterprise level. Lots of is a word, Scott. Vista Chris at 331. Mike, with the help of your courses and book, I was hired at an ISP. Dang, Vista Chris. I'm over 40. This is my first IT job. Thank you, not even finished with Network Plus yet. Vista Chris, look at you. Well done, amigo. Well done, Vista Chris. All right, okay, we're getting close to a wrap up here. Okay, guys, first of all, do remember we have 50% discount on, so if you didn't win any practice questions, we got 50% off, which is ridiculously low price, folks. That is cheap. And all you have to do is go to www.total7.com, head over to our merchant area, and, Scott. Scott, can you please type back in the code for all those super cheap practice questions? IWD2021. Scott Jernigan will put all the information right there in the chat window for you. So we got that. Also do keep in mind, like and subscribe to this channel. It's always very, very much appreciated. Also do keep in mind that we will be having our Discord after this. I honestly don't know if I'll be on. I'm going to try very, very hard to be on. I have, what is that old, who's the famous singer who sang Hallelujah? Hallelujah. Leon Russell? Leon. I forgot his name. Anyway, he also had a great song called Bring Lawyers, Drugs, and Money. He's a great guy. So that's kind of where we are these days. Anyway, I will be back on Monday, and we're almost certainly, I'm going to try to see if I could do some Samba Active Directory, because that would be an interesting thing as a teaching tool. Because, no offense, installing Windows Server into a virtual machine, it's doable, but it's a little bit of a pain. But like for a production in your small office, why not go to Samba? Why spend money on Windows? I don't have an answer for that. I don't know enough how Samba Active Directory works. For example, does the Samba Active Directory server support security policies? So I don't know the answer to that, but I'm going to take a look. That could be a cool thing. Either that, or I might save it for Dave Rush, because I got to be honest with you, slapping Active Directory onto a Raspberry Pi, that sounds pretty cool. And I may go that route just because it would be interesting. I've never run Samba. That's not true. I was going to say I've never run Samba on a Raspberry Pi. I've most certainly run Samba on a Raspberry Pi. But I've never run a server. So we'll see. No official plans for next Monday. We'll see what happens. And so that should be it to get there. Did anybody write it in? No, it's not Warren's. Leonard Cohen. Thank you, Tolowit. You're the king. That's what it was. All right, I'm going to do a quick scan for any last-second questions. for YouTube live streaming, we use the default RTMP. RTMP works particularly well because we use OBS as our switching software. Let's see if I can actually show this to you. All right, if this computer explodes, it's the end of the day. Yep, that was exploding. Let's turn it off, turn it off. I was trying to show you my OBS studio, and the RTMP seems to work pretty well with it. I got to be honest with you, though. I'm not an expert on this stuff, but I do know we're running RTMP. James Bond. The A+ exams are 90 questions done in 90 minutes. I am so afraid this is not enough time. It's plenty of time. It's plenty of time. I'm going to tell you right now that when you go through any CompTIA exam, I'm assuming you've studied, right? Read the question. Most people will finish individual questions in 15 seconds, which is oodles of time. Do not fear. Fear is the mind killer. Okay, I think we've got everybody covered. Okay, Stefan. There it is. Excellent. All right. I think I got everybody covered. Okay, I got everybody covered. Guys, I am out the door here. Bring lawyers, guns, and money. What a great song. Check it out. I'm sure it's on YouTube someplace. I will see you guys on Monday. Don't forget Dave this Friday doing Chromium stuff on the Raspberry Pi. And until then, this is your Michael Myers signing off saying good night, kiddies. Good night.